right, Vogt, what's your initial reaction to this? Nuggets staying pat.
Not terribly surprised. Would have obviously loved to have seen them find a way to get a smaller deal done, bring in a defensive wing. Facu's out of the rotation. I don't know how much you could have brought back. I would have liked for him personally to see him get somewhere, because I don't think people realize financially, not that he's struggling in life, but that this move was not like a slam dunk for Facu. Right. So I feel somewhat rough for him personally. Wish they could have got a defensive wing in or a center, but I'm really not surprised. I think Malone through the media tried to tell us for months they want to get those 5 back on the court, and they did not have a lot of assets and to buckled up for a slow deadline.
Eric, what's your reaction?
Same thing. I mean, like I said, I would be very wary of doing any big structural changes to this lineup, just because we know what we have coming down the pike, and we have to sort of just believe in that original vision that Conley and co put together. That's why they added Aaron Gordon last year. We made last year we made a huge splash. It's just we didn't get to fully realize it. We got those
we did.
We got those 8 beautiful games.
Yeah, we did. Trust me,
Hanukkah of smugdom.
We did realize it. I mean, that's the thing is we did fully get that moment. That's why some people are like, Nuggets never make moves. Literally just made the biggest move.
Yeah, I know.
They were the star of last year's trade deadline. This year, there's really
right. So you just allow that to come back into focus before you're like, okay, we're gonna move off of that, because they already went all in on a vision. Right. So we're talking about things that are just like editing around the edges, getting a developmental guy that might play, might not play. It's like. I mean, it would have been cool to get to get our old friend Torrey back.
Man, him going. We're going to get into this here in a minute, but him going to Phoenix is like, I
know.
Yeah.
It would. I would have liked to have seen something, but I can only assume that every deal that they had on the table involved them having to erode something that they have long-term plans for.
Right.
I think so too.
It's Bobby Marks just tweets out the big winner today. Players in OKC, they're $23 million below the floor. So that means each player is going to get almost $2 million.
Wow.
Because if you're below the floor, you pay your roster evenly.
Is that prorated, or is that like the low end guys at the end of the bench? Do they?
No,
also
I think
get the
I think
same?
it's even. I think
so
it's
that's
everybody.
Yeah,
there's guys at the end of the bench that are like, wow, I'm going to make more on this than I will. I mean, there's still time. I guess it doesn't make sense. They'll be really well off.
That's crazy.
Which, to your point about Kenrich Williams, it is funny. They could have easily taken on a giant salary and. To move him, but here we are.
I mean, a little disappointing, I think, especially because Dallas got better.
Yeah.
Phoenix got better.
Yeah.
Other than that, the Clippers got better. Other than that, I don't know if anybody made a momentum swinging move, but it would have been nice for the Nuggets to add a piece. I mean, now you turn your attention to the buyout market. Denver's got an open roster spot. They've got Cousins out there who Michael Malone yesterday said he expects to be back. We'll see if the front office expects him to be back. Gary Harris could get bought out in Orlando. I think Denver would have interest in him if that happened. So that's kind of where you turn your attention to now.
Yeah. I would say I'm and let us know in the chat, by the way, how you guys kind of feel. I'm curious to take a look at this. You can monitor it for me, but I'm a little disappointed. The roster construction was tough this year because the plan was to have Michael Porter at least for the whole season, and his absence has really thrown a wrench in that second unit. Yeah. I think, the fact that you weren't able to find a landing spot for Facu, is one thing. I saw the homie Miroslav, who, by the way, hosts Serbian Corner right here on this very podcast, DNVR on weekends, along with Voya. So you got to want to check that show out. He just put out that Facu is going to win the Nuggets of playoff games. Mark it down. Here's the one thing about that. Not the craziest take. When you talk about playoffs, do I trust Facu in a playoff for 7 games? No, to me, that's not ideal. I know the Nuggets won one last year with him. So
you don't want to do it again.
Obviously, possible. But do I? No. But can I picture him having a PJ Dozier-like effect where there's one game where he checks in out of necessity and
absolutely
gets 3 steals and this or that?
Absolutely. All the time
so.
for Facu.
But nonetheless, Denver does have a 12-man rotation right now, and to me, they need a 9 or 10, and that would have been made a lot more clear if you sort of consolidated a little bit there. So
we also don't know, whatever JaMychal Green was involved in, if he was, again, well reported, but a no trade clause there as well. So he would have had to approve
Right.
And maybe, I think he probably would have in a place where maybe he could have played a
He
lot
would still
more.
be getting paid on the first and the
He's
15th.
15,
Yeah.
so we'll see. It is definitely disappointing to not clean up on the margins. If they could have, that would have been what you call a win on the day.